Okay, let's dive deeper into the DeSoto concept of helping developing countries by creating records, especially for land, real estate, real property. The land, there's a lot of developing countries that have a lot of vacant land. This land is actually an asset, a dormant asset that could be used to raise capital for not just investment, but also for property tax revenue, for the wonderful bureaucrats that want to have a steady paycheck. That's what they want, is a steady paycheck. And if they understand that by having digital records of land, home, hut, condo, it can be anything. It's the geographical boundaries and location that's the most important thing. And a home becomes something very valuable in the form of collateral because now you've got something to lean. If you've got a record, you can put a mortgage or a bank loan. You can get financing for future business or development. And here's also the secure domicile, a place to raise the kids, where you have a guaranteed no trespass without a court warrant, a search and seizure type document from the government. The government becomes the keeper of the records and also the ingress, egress, trespass for the property. And you have to give the owner of the property right to defend himself within the boundaries of his home. And you have to be able to allow them to build walls to raise the children with locks and security. The secure domicile is what's lacking in these developing countries. And so you have to have these digital, if you can have the digital records, then you now produce a foundation for these people in developing countries to actually build on that security. You've got ownership, you've got pride of ownership, you've got stewardship. And now with these boundaries and records and public records, you can start doing property taxes. And human rights and property rights go hand in hand. Giving title to women in these developing countries, allowing them to own property and have the rights to protect themselves, pride of ownership, and also allowing foreign ownership of property, land, real land ownership by foreigners. You know, the United States has been benefited so many times in economic downturns when we've had foreign nationals come in and purchase real estate and then improve that real estate, creates jobs and opportunity. Now we get into the public records. By having it digital, you make it searchable. You also create sunshine records, open records, public records. You can fight corruption once you can expose who owns what, the governors, the mayors, the presidents, the police chiefs. Now this becomes public record. You get public property tax records, and the bureaucrats love a steady paycheck. And so this revenue per square foot, it could be a penny and 10 cents, a dollar per square foot. It's set by those government individuals. And by the way, the government individuals also register their land. So now we have something to attach in case of violation of laws or corruption. Now you've got their property that you can seize because nobody can pick up their land and run away and sneak away with it. So now the police are funded, the schools are funded, government's funded through a steady form of taxation versus sales tax breeds corruption. Sales tax, this value-added tax, is what most developing countries use as a form of revenue. Okay, and then over here, by having digital records, you can make them searchable. You can have digital identification, photographs, birth certificates, photo ID, family, mother, father, all the children. You can have family connections. You get school ID, certification, marriage, death. And you know, if you've got a driver's license and you've got a photo, you need to connect the photo, the identity, to the land, to the address. What good does it do to have an ID if you can't track down that person? Anybody driving a car has to have their current address on their license. And this is one of the things that the haves have, is identification, ownership, land, photo ID, passports. Again, if you've got the identification, you're going to get a passport. You can travel internationally. It helps education-wise, business-wise, economics. There are so many benefits if this vision of DeSoto can be implemented using digital smartphone technology and raw land, rough land survey. You can begin building the database. And this is where the financing comes in right here. You can do international loans, you can do micro loans, you can do business loans, bank loans, but you have the land as the collateral, because there's nothing more important and valuable to a family than their home.